It's Tuesday, and that means it's No Filter Tuesday. So here I am with a very special guest today, someone that has a soft spot in my heart, that's been there for me through thick and thin. And she's a girl's girl. She's everything you would love a woman to be as a best friend. She's the kind of person that makes you happy if you're feeling blue and makes you happy if you're happy. And I can't get enough of her, and I haven't seen her for a long time, so this is a really special one for me. She's an actress, she's an entrepreneur, she's an author, and the warmest woman I know. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one, the only, Cameron Diaz. Cammy!
I seriously, I am just so full of joy seeing your face and hearing your voice. I literally have tears to my eyes because I can't believe it's been so long since we've seen one another, in person. And I feel like a lifetime has gone past, especially in this year. And it's so good to see your glorious, beautiful, glowing.
Oh, Cammy!
I'm so happy to see you.
Yes, everyone, I call her Cammy. How are you?
I'm so good. I honestly, I don't think
glowing you are.
Oh, thank you. I feel like, I know it's really tough times. I know it's really painful in a lot of ways and what's going on in the world. But I think that everybody's been trying to kind of grasp the moments that can be that you can find some sort of good in. And I feel very fortunate that I'm in those moments as much as I can possibly be. So that's good.
So tell me, may I ask you, where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in LA, California, where, the winter is about to set into the rest of the world. But in California, we're in a heat wave in the middle of October. So
I heard that actually yesterday.
So hot. Go away, heat. I want this.
I must say, I love the heat. I'm a heat person.
I know.
So I'm trying to remember, because let's go back from the beginning, Cammy. Mm-hmm. Where did we first meet?
God, I don't know. Hawaii, maybe? Or
no, I think I'm going to say then, okay, I'm going to say you too.
Oh my God, yes, you too, of course.
I think so. I think it's backstage at U2.
Exactly.
I think at Giant Stadium.
Huh? Yeah.
Definitely was in the East Coast of America. So I believe it was Giant Stadium.
Yeah.
And that's where I first saw you.
Yeah, I remember I've known you for, I've seen you around in the world, but I don't think we ever connected until that time. Yeah. And I was just so happy to get to know you, because I feel like over these years, we got to know each other. We spent some really good time together. And I've always just been so blown away with your depth that, your depth of knowledge, your connectivity to the world, all of the things that you sort of really hold dear to you, your friends, your family, your extended, your maid family, and your ability to reach so many different people. I was just so happy to know that about you, to be brought into that circle, because I just feel you're very powerful in that way, that you really are a connector of people, which is such a hard thing to do. I'm terrified of it. And you're just fully embrace it.
Well, I just have the funnest memories, the even emotional memories, but I love our transparency that we share, and we have many people that we know in common.
Yes.
And going back from even an ex-agent that we might have shared for a short time? Because I want to ask you that question. You did model for a short time, but I don't think, tell me about it.
I modeled, you know, I started modeling when I was 16, and really what it was just to get the hell out of Long Beach, California, because I didn't have any way else out. And so like, it was not, I think a lot of girls take that opportunity, you know, it's just like this thing, you get to travel, you make money, you get to do things you never thought you could ever do, go places you never thought you would be able to go. And I really took advantage of that and embraced it. But I was never like a huge model. You know, I wasn't like, you were like, I was modeling in your guys' heyday, like the super model heyday. And I, believe me, did not have like any status like that. I was a commercial, you know, I would do commercials. I was a commercial model, catalogs, that kind of stuff. I lived in Paris for a year and never worked, you know, like it's like that kind of thing. And then I got the mask when I was 20. I turned 21 on.
Oh, that's what I want to get to.
That was it.
That's what I want to get to. I want to know, how did that all come to? The phone call you got, when you auditioned, if you auditioned, or was it just made for you?
No, you know, I had this really wild experience. You know, as a model, people don't understand, like, it is a lot of work. Like you have to like go and do this work. You're like hustling. You're going castings, you're trying to get your jobs on a daily basis. You're just like every day auditioning for something. And I was living in Paris. I came home to do my taxes and being responsible. And I got a call from my commercial agent at the time who said, look, they're casting this movie. They want a model type. They want sexy. Go do this, you know, call. And I was like, I don't act. Like, that's not my thing. Like, I don't do that. But and I started my period that day, and I was like, bleh, like I felt like a thing. I was like, I'm not getting into like a sexy dress. Let me go like talk. Let me go do another part if they're hiring. I'll try another part, something in jeans. So they had me go read for another part, like the journalist. And I went and read, and Chuck Russell, who is the director, who was the loveliest human being on the planet, he just was like, I want you to come back. You have to come back and read for this other part of Tina Carlisle. And I said, okay, I had fun. Sure, I'll come back. I got dressed up, came back that day, did the reading, and I don't know, he really just embraced me from that moment on. Chuck just was like, you're my girl. I want you to, like, I kept getting callbacks, and he was just like, they were talking to Anna Nicole Smith, and, you know, the studio really wanted her, because I had never done anything. Who was I? Jim Carrey was still the white guy from In Living Color. Ace Ventura hadn't come out yet. And so I went back in, and it took a month. I went consistently and worked with, you know, with him, with Jim. I would read with Jim. And finally, like literally, like I think maybe 5 days or 10 days before shooting, they said yes to me. And I had already done like wardrobe fittings, rehearsals and dancing, I basically did all the pre-production for the film without ever getting the film until
ever getting it. But with the director and the co-star, which is great to be able to.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice when you do those kind of lessons, I guess you would call them, but where you have the director and the actor, and it's not just a cold reading with someone that, you know.
It also was like really amazing that they invested that much time into me, you know, like, and I didn't know at the time what kind of, you know, chance I was taking. You know, to me, it was nothing. I was going back to Paris. In fact, I went back to Paris and got all of my stuff and came back to keep doing the auditions, because they kept saying, you're going to get the part, you're going to get the part. And I was like, okay. So I went back to Paris and like took all my stuff back. But yeah, it was pretty wild. It was actually, I had gone back to Paris, and then I got the phone call. It was down to me and 2 other girls. And I was like, should I go back? Should I go back? And then I did. And then all that happened. So yeah.
Destined. And that's when the explosion of Cameron Diaz on our screens, ladies and gentlemen, just was like, but it was just drawn to you immediately. Drawn to you. I mean, tell me, what was your, like, what's your heritage?
My ethnic background?
Yeah.
So my dad was Spanish Cuban. and my mom's German, English. And so that's
just
kind of
drawn.
yeah.
I mean, I think, but you had that Latin spice in there. You
I
did.
definitely have a Latin in me, but you know,
Yeah.
like I always say, I'm like the Heinz 57. Like I'm a true American because I'm a mutt. You know,
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to.
I named those 4 lineages because that's kind of like the bulk of it. But like, I'm just a true mutt. I'm a true American Heinz 57 mutt. And that's, you know, I don't think like there's so many, you know, we come to America and we're just like, yeah, everybody's you know.
Americans.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
agree
American.
with you. So born in Long Beach and went to high school with, I heard, did you ever bump into Snoop Dogg in the corridors?
Yeah, girl.
You did? Tell me about it.
Back then, we were just kids together. Like neither one of us knew where we were going or what was going to happen. You know, I mean, but I definitely remember him as, you know, all the pictures you see, sort of our high school pictures, you know, that they always like celebrities. When I said, I was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. You know what I mean? Like I've seen that guy, and he was a year older than me, but yeah, we went to the same high school, and yeah. So now when we see each other, we're always like, "Polly Jack Robbins." We're like, but yeah, he's. I mean, he's.
It's great to be still in contact with your friends from school now.
Yeah.
Do you have a few of those?
I do. I have a couple. Yeah.
And I like that. I have that too, and from my first school from like 7 and 8, and I love that.
Oh, that's
I love it.
But I feel like you always, like once you make a friend, you don't ever not have that person as your friend.
I hold my friends close and true, even if I don't get to speak every day, but the love is there. Once I love, I love.
Of course.
Yeah, I am that way. So basically, okay, so then you've done the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Cameron Diaz has hit our screens and we want more of her. So then what came next?
You know, I did a few movies that, you know, kind of just on the job.
A few movies, she said.
I did like on the job training because I wasn't an actress. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of like had to like learn how to make movies and act on jobs, you know, basically. So, you know, I got lucky and some people hired me. And then I think like the next, like
people hired me. Love it. But Cameron, you gave us,
you know,
you didn't take yourself seriously.
No, I never take.
You made everybody feel like, oh, I could have done that, and if I did make that mistake, it's cool because Cameron Diaz just did that in the film, and it's fine. And it's like, and yet you had a warmth about you. The girl next door didn't take yourself too seriously. How could the world not love you?
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. Well, you know,
but how could not? What was it like? Like, I mean, what was the movie you did after Mask?
I think the one that kind of like hit next was, I can't remember. It was, I think it was something about Mary was like the next kind of thing that kind of brought me into people's, you know.
Now, can I ask you something? Did Ben write that for you?
No, I don't think so.
It was like it was written for you.
You know what? It was offered to me. So Ben didn't write it. It was the Fairley brothers.
Oh, the Farley brothers. Yeah, sorry.
The brothers. Yeah. He was the star of it, you know, but the Fairley brothers wrote it. So I think that they might have written, I'm not sure. I can't say that, like, you know, it's hard. Yeah, they wrote it for me.
I just love that movie.
They offered it to me, which was like one of, you know, getting an offer on a movie that was like, oh, that's so cool.
So then after Something About Mary, which I saw that in the movie theaters, I think 3 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. So in London, in different countries. I definitely saw it in France, I saw it in London, and I saw it in America.
French subtitles or dubbed?
I mean,
I wonder if they did it like that.
I wonder. No, in France, In France, I think you were subtitled.
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
You were. Yeah.
The French gets the comedy anyhow.
But it's a very French comedic type of, yeah. It really is. Yeah. So I'm gonna jump to, what did kids? I heard that kids used to call you a name in school. That, I mean, I was teased. I was called olive oil. I didn't really think anything here or there. I mean, I love Popeye, but
right.
I mean, they teased you. What was the name that they called you?
They used to call me Skeletor from. Do you remember who Skeletor was? He was the villain from the Hulk, not like the Hulk, like the Green Hulk, but what was the name of that show? It was a cartoon, and Skeletor was like this the villain of it. Conan, that's what it was. It was Conan the Conqueror or something. It was like this TV like a kids cartoon, kind of like Scooby-Doo, but like with the superheroes, and Skeletor was the villain and he was a skeleton.
So that's what they called you. Now, did they call you that because of your height? Because Cameron, you're very tall.
No, I was like, so Naomi, you remember the days when you had like, people thought that you were like not being fed. Like,
yes. Like they're like, yes, it's terrible. But we were being fed. It's just the way that we were.
Exactly. I was just like literally just limbs, you know. I was just like, oh.
Oh my God. I understand those, but you know what? You had the last laugh.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Sorry, folks. So you did a bit of modeling. You're now a bona fide actress.
Mm-hmm.
And when you did have to start getting back into the clothes thing as an actress, how was that to you? Because you have a very chic, clean look.
Yeah, thank you. I love coming from you, Naomi.
Well, you do. It's a look where you're wearing the clothes and the clothes are not wearing you. You've never dressed like that.
No, I think certainly, I mean, now as near, a 48-year-old woman, like mom during COVID, like clothing is not at all in my world. Like I'm literally like, I was like, yesterday I was like, wait, I'm doing an interview with Naomi about what am I gonna wear? I was like, I think I have a silk shirt somewhere. Is that fancy enough? But like I really have no interest in clothes except for just like house dresses and sweats right now. But I think when I came back into, fashion, it wasn't really fashion, it was more self-style. I wasn't really ever a darling of fashion designers the way that I think that they take to a lot of film actresses. But I also, like I said, I'm not good at those kinds of relationships. I'm always like, I come from Long Beach. It was like, nothing's for free. What do you want from me? Because I was taught nothing's for free. And so I like stayed away from that. And I just like to earn whatever it is that I have. I don't like people giving me things. But that being said, I loved being able to have that expression, and especially when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's like, I remember, the 90s was just so much fun, like dressing up, and now it's coming back around, and I'm giving my niece who's 24, I'm giving her all my old 90s stuff.
Oh, cool.
Now.
It's great to save it and pass it on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so awesome.
It really is.
Yeah, she loves it. I'm like,
I love that you do that. That's your sister's daughter, right?
What's that? My sister's daughter, yeah. She's 24 now. It's crazy.
24 years old.
Yeah. My gosh. So crazy. I know. They are babies and then they're adults, It's crazy.
So now, I mean, this is a big jump. You are now a mother yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How is that for you? You are now a wife, a mother.
I am.
A private life, semi-private life.
Very private life. I love it. It's really, I feel like, you know, a lot of people do it the other way around. They do it first and then they kind of, you know, they have a family, get married, they have a family in their youth. I'm kind of doing it in the second half of my life, which I'm really, you know, the only pressure for me now is I have to live to be like 107, you know, so no pressure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I really feel like this is my sweet spot and my happiest time in my life, even with all the amazing experiences I've had, you know, in traveling and accomplishments of, you know, working hard and putting things into the world that I'm proud of. I can already tell, well, I know, not tell, I know this is really the most gratifying moment in my life to be at this place, to get here. Because, you know, having a family when you're young, I think there's a real sort of like, it's like anything when you're young, you're just like, you do it, you know what I mean? But when you're this my age and you decide to do it, it's a real choice, you know, something like you really have to work hard for it. And because one, just my age, my, you know, having a child was a lot of work. And then marriage also it's another thing, because when you're young, you guys just like, you become one another, you know, you kind of meld into one another. You know, but when you're older and you start a marriage, you're really aware of what it takes to like become a partners with one another, because you're no longer, you've been individuals for so long. You know, I met my husband when I was 41 years old, 41 or maybe just turning 42. So I, you know, was really aware, or maybe I was 44. I don't even freaking know. but
wait, I mean,
yeah, you know, but
first of all, so
you're really yourself at that point.
You're yourself. You have gone through. You've discovered, you know, all your inhibitions, all the things you.
But you're also set in your ways, girl. Like you don't want to change it.
And so, you're like, so that's another challenge.
Yeah, you're like, I don't do it.
Yeah, but Camille, you know how to adapt.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
You're known as Cameron Diaz, the actress. But I can tell you guys, Camille, when she puts her mind, can do anything. I've seen you go when you put your focus and you want to do this, you can, from houses to anything, alcohol to wanting to be an author to, you told me about the juicing. You taught me how good it was to do it, to cleanse, to juice at least 2 or 3 times a year. You know, the book you wrote, which I think, I'm not getting off the course of being a wife.
No, it's okay.
Because I know your sister-in-law, I know your brother-in-law, and love them and call her cousin.
Yeah.
A lot of things you've done, really, like the first book you wrote, which I have, is something you absolutely can do now while we're in this period of quiet reflection.
Always. I mean, it's definitely that, you know, that book's sort of like a manual to our bodies, you know. It's always something that I was kind of astonished by, was that how little we actually we're taught about our bodies and all of and it's like, I can't do math or read or write or if I don't have a body that's well, period. Like,
and self-esteem too is also for self-esteem.
Absolutely.
It's just like, I mean,
but for the right reasons, like knowing like that you're taking care of yourself and that you're valuing your body. For me, it's like about like valuing your body. So you're not just like having it as an afterthought. And when you start to show love and care to your body, then you really, and you know about it and you understand how it works, you can give it more care, and then you put more value to it. So therefore you put more value to yourself. You have more empowerment and self-esteem because of it.
You wrote a second book.
The longevity book.
Tell me about that, please.
So that is about the science of aging and how we age on a cellular level and what happens to our cells as we, from birth to basically death. And it's really kind of, because we all say we're aging, we're all saying we're getting older. And I was just like, what does that mean? You know, what does it mean to get older? What is the science behind it? What is happening to my body as I get older? You know, and learning about apoptosis, where it's like sudden death of your cells. You're like, oh, right, that happens. But when you're younger, that happens and you regenerate it. As you get older, the regenerating of your cells becomes less capable. Your cells can't do it. And so they just become a bunch of dead cells and you just start to die off. But you can make that, you can extend your cell's ability to do their job longer by how you take care of yourself. And that's like the pillars of wellness, which is, you know, your food, mind, body, exercise, you know, meditation, connectivity. So like your relationships with people, your purpose in life, you know, your purpose in life, being connected to people who need you, or that having that is like a very strong pull towards wellness as you get older in life, because a lot of people isolate. And when you isolate, you start to make things smaller and you stop taking that, you know, you lose parts of yourself that need nourished.
Shut down, basically. Shut down. It's hard though sometimes to keep pushing yourself to be active, to do some form of exercise. You just want to say, oh, I don't want to do anything some days. But it all keeps it flowing. I get it.
You know, but look at this, we're all balanced, we're all imbalanced in one part of our life at certain times, right? So I've been like really crazy about food and nutrition, you know, where I'm like, really, that's my main focus. And I
mean, when you traveled, I saw that you were very disciplined, even no matter what country you're in, about what you ate, how it was done, how it was cooked.
Yeah. But now, you know, but at that time I had no balance of like my people, my other side of my life, you know, like family and friends, relationships, connectivity. I wasn't attached to that aspect of my life, and I wasn't taking care of my mind and my, you know, psychology. Like I needed to like really find a balance, meditation, all those things were kind of, it was an imbalance. So you try to find, and right now I'm just like really heavy on my connectivity of my child and my husband and my, you know, COVID bubble and like my people and our community and how we're all getting through this at the moment. And my self-care has really sort of slid out. I'm just like, nutrition, of course, is very, very important to me. But, you know, I'm chasing a child around. So I'm like, that's my exercise. But really, I need to like go get some real, you know, stretching. And I try to stretch every day and just little things.
Do you still juice?
Oh, girl, I love a good juice. And I'm due for a real juice cleanse.
And then wait a second. But now I also heard, because I spoke to someone the other night, I spoke to Derek, and Derek's like, oh, I just finished Cameron's wine. It's delicious. Can you please tell me when you started the wine? Because I heard it's more than one, or there's a few.
Yeah, we're getting ready to launch our red as well. So it's called Avaline, and Avaline is a brand that my partner and I, my partner is Catherine Power, who started What Wear first as a online blog magazine.
Yeah, I know it.
And then she has Who What Wear in Target, and she has First Skincare, which is a clean skincare line that sells at a drug store price. And we were just literally going like, we love wine. We have a glass of wine, but you know, you have one glass of wine, you're just like, that's enough for me. I have to get up in the morning. It hurts my head. And we were like, maybe there's a way to make it better for you. And so we're so ignorant. We had no idea what that meant and if it was possible. But what we did do is we dove into understanding how wine was made. And we found out there's over 73 ingredients that are allowed to be added to wine as sort of like tools for the winemakers that are not disclosed on the label because there's no requirement for it, because it's not, alcohol isn't regulated by the FDA, it's regulated by the TTB here in the States, which have, they don't care about nutrition. That's not what their
So you mean they can just, long as they pass this barcode, they don't care?
Exactly. So we decided to kind of figure out how to make a wine that was that, or really not make a, we sourced wine, we made wine. It is made for us, but we found winemakers and vineyards. First and foremost, it had to be organic grapes.
Yeah.
Organic is like you're not getting any sort of residual pesticides in the wine that could possibly make it in, because there's no pesticides used in the farming of
But
the grapes.
Cammie, do you get to, you've been to see where the grapes are done?
No, we
oh, good. I trust. Good.
No,
Because
Catherine and I, like, what we did was we found wine we love to drink. We called a bunch of vineyards that we loved drinking their wines, found out what they did with their wines, whether or not they made it to the standards we were looking for. If it was organic vineyard, and most of our farms are generational, so they've been our winemakers have been making wine, their fathers, mothers, for generations, and farming organically for as long. And so we went to those vineyards and basically made deals to have them be our providers, and get a beautiful.
Because I find, Cammie, that a lot of people put the stamp organic on it. You don't have to have really a very low percentage, I just heard, and it's not really. So it's really nice to hear you tell everyone that you've been there, you've seen it. These grapes are preserved, no pesticides, and it is clean and organic wine.
So we've done all the testing for everything, right? We do a testing every time on our wine, just to make sure that everything's up to the standard, that there's nothing in it that we don't want it to be in. We want to be in it. So the baseline is no added sugars, colors, or concentrates, because that's a practice that happens a lot in winemaking. It's just for flavor or color, whatever it might be. There's additives for textures. A lot of times it's pretty standard practice to do fining and clarifying of the wine with animal byproducts. So if a vegan didn't know that was being used, then they would be drinking a wine that doesn't hold their values, which ours is vegan. And we put all of it on the label, and that's
everything's very transparent.
And our website has all the information. We're going to have all the nutritional information, facts, towards the end of this month on all of our wines. Or I think on our next run of wines, we'll have it. But basically there's no added sugars, colors or concentrates is the baseline. But it's just delicious wine, first off, but you can tell that it aligns with your values. If you're walking down this, the grocery store aisle, and you'll know it'll be the only wine that says it on the label. And that was the problem for us. We knew that there was probably hundreds of wines on the aisle that were the wines we wanted to drink, but we just couldn't tell.
No way to know.
There's no way to know. So we did that, and we wanted it to be everywhere. So we wanted it to be at every grocery store. So it wasn't like where we had to go across town to the specialty store to find the wine that we wanted to drink. We wanted it to be just like, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm picking up my dinner and my bottle of wine that I know is exactly the wine I want to drink. And so right now we're in 2,000 stores across America in like 43 states. We're growing. We just want it to be for everybody. We want everyone to know. And some people don't care, and that's totally fine. And they're.
But I think people do care now. They're more conscious about what they're putting on the inside. They want to know.
There's a lot of different wine cultures that are kind of coming up, right? So originally it was sort of like the vineyard, the terroir, the region, the vintage. Those were the things that were important to the wine drinker. Of course, like those are beautiful things, and like it can be a hobby, and people can collect bottles and open them 2 years later and know that it was a good year.
That was a good year. And I'm not a wine drinker, but I appreciate the whole maturity, how it's done, the patience, and I appreciate yours even more because it's that's clean.
Yeah. But then there's drinkers who are like, great, none of those things matter to me. All I want to know is, what does it taste like? And we literally put onto our labels what it tastes like. We say it tastes like this, finished. You know what I mean? Like, so people get to just get it, they buy it because they know, they're not like, what kind of that grape, what does it taste like? It tastes like this.
Yeah, it's straight.
Yeah.
Which is what you want to know.
Exactly.
I mean, my God, what else do you feel you want to do? I know there's more things that you want to do. I know.
Girl, I want to take a nap.
Oh, Kelly.
Wouldn't it be so great if I was like telling everybody, I have a really important interview with Naomi Campbell, and really all I was doing is taking a nap. They're like, you did that last week.
You know what? All I remember is, you know what? You always were good at getting us all together to do games.
Yeah.
You were good at that. You always were. I love doing games and nights with you. It's fun.
So fun.
So in respect for all of that, which it takes up a lot of time, do you feel like, I mean, you've really lived a life. Yeah. And you're only 47.
No, I'm 48 now. God, I just.
Well, I mean, you lived a life. Okay, 1 year, but you've lived an incredible life. And it feels like you lived your life really so young that you are in, would you say this is your third phase?
I would say third phase. Probably.
Third phase?
Yeah, third phase, second half of my life kind of thing.
And you really have just the discipline to just say, okay, that was that. Yeah. And this is now.
Yeah. I feel really resolved. I mean, I never say never to anything first.
Of course.
I mean, but I feel really resolved. I mean, I haven't made a movie since like 2013, 2014. Like, it's been a long time. It's been like 7 years or 6 years since I made a film. And girl, I am okay with that. Like, there's no part of me that's like, I gotta get up, I gotta get back in front of the camera, or you know what I mean? Like, I gotta go act, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel that way. And that's not to say like I won't someday, but like, I'm really resolved at where I'm at right now, because I feel like.
It just came to me now about when I came to Rome, saw you all in Gangs of New York at Cinecittà on the set. I was just like, I came to say hi to Marty, and I got to see you and Leo. And I mean, you've just done your body of work. Your body of work is incredible. You cannot deny. You've done some incredible roles, unpredictable, but also different.
Yeah.
You must be and should be proud of that.
I am. I've been really, really fortunate at the actors and directors that I've gotten, the honor to work with. I've always looked back.
And the actors, Cameron, you have worked with some leading men.
Absolutely. Actors and directors that I've gotten to work with have been astounding. Like, I feel so fortunate to get that opportunity. And, as now that I'm older, I'm always like, God, I really should have taken like a bigger chunk out of that. You're always kind of like, I should have just like been in the moment more, But I think that's one of those things where it goes back to now being a mom at my age. Now I really understand.
When you're gonna do your first movie, because you're gonna do them. When you're gonna do your first movie, now that you're a mom, it's gonna be a different Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Sure. I look forward to seeing it, and we're gonna see it. It's when you're ready, but it's like you said, it's no rush.
Yeah,
no rush at all.
I'll come back like when I'm really like, people like, there's a new older actress on the scene.
And you know what? It's not a comeback. That's not even the right word. It's intermission.
Intermission. Yeah, no, I what happens. I'm like, I never say never to anything, You
shouldn't. And I agree with you. It's like people say, are you ever going to walk the runway again? I'm like, you said I left anyway. It's just.
I was like, of course.
It's right. When it's not, it's not.
I really, honestly, I'm literally just can think that you're still walking the runway because like you're
Cammie, I'm 50.
iconic. Like nobody else walks the runway. Like there's
I'm gonna have to draw a line somewhere, Cammie. I am 50.
Girl, I know you. You talk about, this is the thing that also like you're like not human. Like you are like your first off, your energy, I think, carries you the furthest. That's my dog coughing, if you heard that. My dog's coughing. He was like, I'm not leaving the room. I was like, okay, fine. But your strength in your body. I'll wait till he's done coughing because I don't want.
Do we need to give him some water? Is he all right?
It's his heart.
He didn't have a chicken bone, did he?
No, he his heart's swelling and choking him. It's a long thing. He's gonna die that way, but there's nothing we can do. I'm doing everything. But I'm always astounded at like the strength of your body and like how even today at 50, you're so statuesque. And I know you work on it because nobody doesn't do something for it. I know you take care of yourself. I know you're dedicated to taking care of yourself, your workout, your nutrition. You're really very disciplined about that. But you're just like not human in that way.
I am. I'm human. I promise.
That's actually, I don't want to say, actually I take that back because I don't want to like objectify you because you're not an object. But you
told me one day, everything you told me this. You told me one day, now I was talking to you about eating satan. And you said, I really like it. I don't want to eat meat anymore and you said, Naomi, you have to do it in moderation. You told me that. I never forgot it. Yeah. Because it's a lot of soy. And as we know, soy is not good for us. It can cause breast cancer.
Yeah. And it's also, it's a processed food, so you're eating processed food. You're not eating a whole food. Like it's better to like find something whole that gives you that protein that is okay for you to eat than eating that as a substitute to your protein, No,
I have to tell you, I just had a funny thought. We'd go on like a helicopter ride to look at, nature. And then we'd just be sitting on a rock having like, our lunch, picnic lunch. And Cammie would just pull out a whole roast chicken. This is nutrition. This is organic. And this is clean. She was right. We're eating all this processed stuff. And then it was like, we had no knife and forks. We're just like, yeah, we'll have a wing. We'll have a leg. Do you remember that?
I just like pull out. It's just like...
Oh God, I miss you so much, Cammie.
I miss you too.
Oh my God, please say hi to your mom.
I will.
Your sister, your hubby, and bless you and your bundle of joy.
I adore you.
I'm gonna get there soon.
Please.
I'm gonna get back there, I should say.
And I cannot wait to just, we won't be able to hug if it's in the next few months.
I know, it'll be.
We'll be like,
So my love is there for you.
My love is there for you.
And I can't thank you enough for your time today. You look more beautiful than I've ever seen you. You just look glowing, you look happy, and that's all that matters is that you're happy. To me.
And you do as well.
I
love seeing you like grounded and in your place, like just like not, you travel more than any person I ever have known. And I'm so happy for you that you have this time to just settle into yourself and your glory. And I adore you. And I love that you're doing this conversation.
Thank you.
So great.
I love you. And I'm going to see you very soon. I'm not going to lose you. I'm not going to disappear.
Lose touch. I know. I love you.
I love you.
Bye, beauty.
Cameron Diaz. This was truly a special treat. Cammie is a loyal, longtime friend, family, and I didn't think she would do this. And so this was really, just look at contentment. You see contentment, happiness. It really makes it worth it to take care of yourself. And I'm so happy you got to see this episode. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Until then, bye from No Filter.